Bill Morehouse right now. Last night, the city of Utica budget was they approved a 4.4% increase. What happened last night, Bill?
Well, what happened was they did the council did good work and they got the budget down, and that's appropriate. But the places we took the money out of are not necessarily appropriate. And I think what happens is you have a council right now of factions. Really, you have Lemetico, Testa, McNeil, and Phillips. You know, they tend to listen to the mayor and the budget director and myself, and go by more about what we feel financially. And then you have Mrs. Colosimo Testa and Mr. Marino, who, you know, let's face it, they would not do anything that would make the mayor look good. You know, unfortunately. And then you have the wild horses there, Williamson, DeSantis, and Mr. DeBrango.
Right.
So, you know, and because of that, you know, I think nobody talked to each other. So, you know, they got to the tax rate that's very acceptable, I feel. But we took it out of the wrong spots. They took it out of fund balance, which is a disaster. They took another $300,000 out of fund balance, and they took it out of CIT, which is our water trust fund, which is a disaster also. So the places that they took the money from are really not appropriate. Quite frankly, if I was the mayor, I would veto the $300,000 out of fund balance, and that would bring the tax rate to about 5.3. And you know, that $300,000 should have come out of the ADA. The $225,000 that the budget director had.
Bill, is everybody afraid of owning a tax increase?
Yeah, no doubt. I think that politicians are always afraid of that. You know, and especially, you know, council people are up every 2 years, so they don't get any place to hide. You know, the mayor can hide a little more because he's a 4-year term. What happened was Colosimo Testa's amendments came up first. And many of them passed because they got DeSantis on board and DeBrango and Williamson. So those five got on board and passed many of hers 5-4. And so when it came to Maria McNeil, Lemetico, Testa, and Phillips, their amendments, they threw them in committee, which basically killed them because there was already enough taken out of the budget. They didn't want any more taken out of the budget.
Yeah.
So the money came out of the wrong spot. I mean, we got to the right spot as far as the rate goes, but the money came from the wrong spot.
Got it.
And that's
Okay.
unfortunate. And it's just because they're not communicating, and a lot of it is because, you know, the councilwoman and Mr. Marino, they, not unlike the Democrats and Trump, they won't do anything that makes the mayor look good. They won't give him credit for anything, and that's unfortunate.
You want to add to that?
I think it's interesting that you just made that comparison.
I'm going to have you hold because I do have Joe Marino on the other line. I want to bring him in. Hold tight there, Bill Morehouse. Joe Marino, do you want to respond to that?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning. Do you respond to that? I mean, he's saying you aren't willing to do anything that makes the mayor look good.
Yeah, look, I mean, I can't respond to his opinion, but I can tell you this. My job isn't to make the mayor look good. My job is to represent the people that I represent. I'm not there to work for the mayor. I don't do that, and nor, frankly, does Mr. Morehouse. I mean, his job is to be the financial watchdog, not listen to the mayor, and there to make his own determinations, and that's what I've done. I have no look. Like I said, I've agreed with the mayor on hundreds of issues in my 6 years. Certain ones I don't, and that's.
Do you agree with? Clearly, you must disagree with the Bill Morehouse feels taking money out of the fund balance is a big mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I find that ironic in that they used $800,000 of fund balance themselves. So, you know, whose mistake is it?
I want to bring. I don't want to. It just so happened that I've got you both on the line. I hate to feel like I've ambushed the two of you into this, but Bill, I'll bring him back in. Do you want to comment on that?
Well, the fund balance we used that the budget director, the mayor, and you know, I was involved with it too. That's for a one-time, non-recurring expense. That's to pay off the Pierce Longo final year of that. So, you know, to use more fund balance, we'll have to replace that with tax dollars next year.
And in fairness, in fairness, Joe, how else would you pay for that a lawsuit?
There was money in the ADA that was going to be presented with $225,000. There was money to replace that $300,000. We could have got to 4.4 without taking any more fund balance, and Joe's aware of that. But there wasn't any communication, and I think he'll agree with that.
Joe?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with that?
No, I do. I do agree that there's, you know, a real lack of communication, and I'm really trying and hoping that it gets better. But again, you know, look, the fact remains is our communication is irrelevant to the fact that we're taxing people for things that I don't think that they deserve to pay, right? So when you say that where else would you get the money to pay the law settlement, the bill wasn't due this year. It wasn't up this year. So you're taking money out right now at a time when it's pretty convenient to raise taxes because there's no one running.
Yeah, and I get that. But in fairness, this we have to present this properly. This is still something that the city taxpayers would have to pay for. It just would have been split up between maybe 2 years.
Smoothing it, right, exactly. No,
but you're almost presenting it as the taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for this, but really somebody's got to pay for it, and it's not like they have to. There's a lawsuit. This is just a change in the way the market went, and things didn't work out the way they were projected. So to say that they shouldn't have to pay for it, I'm not sure that's completely fair.
And I agree with you. I'm not talking about the lawsuit. I'm talking about when.
I'm not talking about the lawsuit. I'm talking about the fact that this was missed last year, but it's not like it's something that would have, had they caught it, it would still exist. That money would still exist. That deficit would still exist, right?
Oh, exactly. That's why I thought the fund balance should pay for it, because it shouldn't have been in the fund balance to begin with.
All right, Bill, you want to? I'll give you the each one more opportunity here. Bill Morehouse.
Well, it's unfortunate because we could have got to the same 4.4 without using that 300 in fund balance. And when we go online, when we go on our conference calls with the rating agencies, the first thing they say is, "Did you use fund balance to balance your budget?" Oh, not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. Because what are you going to do next year? Use more fund balance?
Yeah.
And what about the year after that? More fund balance? This is where we got to where we were, 6 years ago.
So you feel that using the fund balance to pay off a lawsuit will be looked upon differently by the credit agencies than...
It's a non-reoccurring cost. It's not there next year.
Yep, understood. Okay, Joe, final word here.
Yeah, again, I mean, we're going to have to agree to disagree. I mean, I think that paying off fund balance in one regard and then saying that not paying it in another is just ironic. I think it's speaking out of both sides of your mouth. I mean, you're using one-time occurrence for an error repayment or one-time occurrence for a lawsuit. Again, both issues do not help the taxpayer. And that's the only thing that I was concerned with last night, which is why I voted no on the budget in whole, because we did not go far enough and we had an opportunity.
All right. Bill Morehouse, I do want to give you the final word. What do you think the mayor will do here? Is he going to... will he maybe veto maybe the issue on the fund balance? What do you think? Where do you think he's going to go?
If I was the mayor, unfortunately, the way it went down, I would veto the $300,000, and that would give us about a 5.3% tax. But I'm not the mayor, so whatever he does, I'm going to be a watchdog for the people's money. I just want to add one more thing, Bill. Listening to Dr. Yachts and the nurse, awesome, fun to hear that. It's exciting. This is just going to be really exciting as this hospital takes place.
It's funny that you bring that up because I do. Well, my takeaway was we've been focusing on bringing in newer doctors, better doctors, and we're saying this to doctors. I really wanted to know how they felt about people saying that. And the other thing is, I think that the new exciting part of this is the way that this will flow. And the experience will be better for patients. I think that focusing on that and giving the doctors, the good doctors and nurses that we have, an opportunity to be better because the system works better. I think we're missing that.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And to hear the flow of the new hospital was awesome. And it's time for everybody to get on board. The gyms out there, they got to get on board. Everybody get on board. It's happening. This hospital's happening. Let's make it be the best thing for Utica.
You're calling them the gyms. I like that.
The gym.
I like it. All right, William, thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
You bet.
Bill Morehouse, Comptroller, City of Utica.
If I could just make another point to elaborate on what you said regarding the hospital. Not only we shouldn't focus on the aspect of recruiting the doctors, but definitely the big part about this is the revitalization of downtown, I do believe.
Well,
but I think what came from the interview, too, was that what this is originally about, and that is the need for an advanced level of care here in the area. And I think that hearing from them today... exactly that was a breath of fresh air.
And advance, again, back to the flow and the way things flow. It makes it we're more efficient, not just financially, but I think it's important to be more efficient medically. It will help the experience.
To be able to fit everything you need to save a person in one elevator, that's pretty important.
Well, and the other thing is, and we've heard people talk about a new hospital is not going to attract, people aren't going to be like, I want to go to work at a new hospital. That's not, and I've heard doctors tell us this. That's not what attracts doctors. It certainly can help, I guess, but it's not. It's the place. It's the city. It's Some cases they're doing just what municipalities are doing, or states are doing. These big incentives. These wouldn't be tax incentives, but incentives to bring people in. The other thing is the community. What kind of community is it like? What is it like to live here? That's where I feel that this hospital can attract new talent. And that is, if you can transform downtown into something pristine, that is a little different. If we can have the things that they have in other cities and offer more, to me that changes everything.
I agree.
Got a break.